Yo, guys, it's John here with Option Lab, and I have a good one for you guys today. So, today I decided it would be entertaining if I went on Reddit/options and post and ask me anything. And let's just say the results were very interesting. So, the title I used was I did 2.2 million in 2024 with data strategies. Ask me anything. I attached, my 2024 results. If you guys want to see those results live, you can click on any of my other videos. I show you guys them live on my page or in my account. So anyway, let's just go through some of these comments, and I figured it would actually be useful to go through and kind of answer some of these questions. Now, let's keep in mind that 95% of the messages were hate. Right? So when people see a big account, a $10 million account, they immediately want to tear you down. They immediately want to say, oh, well, you should have just done this. You should have just done that. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. Yet they never actually show their accounts themselves. So give me some credit for at least showing my results and actually posting it. Because how many people on YouTube actually post their real results? Not many. So let's start off with a good one here. Alternate headline, trust fund 23-year-old underperforms the S&P 500. This is a good one. 21 upvotes. So I threw a nice response there to him. So just so you guys know, it is not a trust fund. I talked to a bunch of you guys actually asked me about it. I run a variety of online businesses as well as trading. So anyway, that was a good one. Let's see. This is the most common comment I got on the video, which was 2 million gain with a $10 million account starting point is only 20% on the year, which is less than what buying and holding an index fund did last year. So yes, no matter what strategy you do, you can always point to another method that is going to do better, right? So anybody who preaches a specific strategy, that doesn't mean it's the holy grail. It's going to outperform every single trading strategy that exists out there in the universe. So, guys, yes, I could have put it into the SPY, and since it was a exceptional bull market this year, I may have been able to outperform, say 25% on the account. You guys also have to keep in mind that on a bigger account, it becomes more difficult to actively manage it, right? You're entering larger positions, and you're taking on more positions, more risk. There's a variety of psychological things when you're managing a larger account. So yes, this is true. But again, why do we even all do this in the first place? We're trying to, take trades we enjoy, that we think are high probability, that we think can outperform the market. And that's not to say I believe that if you guys actually look at what my percentage return was, it just about matched the S&P 500. So yes, I could have put it into the S&P, but I enjoy actively trading, and I believe minus a few kind of like significant losses this year on positions I was long-term holding, this return would have been over 30%. So I think 2025 I might be able to hit a higher year percentage-wise and at least beat the S&P. So let's go to, I kind of want to answer some of these. So let's read what this person said. So this person said, I read a lot of your comments and I read a lot of pushback too. Well-deserved in my opinion. Geez, thanks. But without context. I don't mind your low returns. Guys, keep in mind, how many of these people commenting actually have 25 to 30+% returns? I don't know because they don't actually show their account. But the pressures of managing a 10 million account are a different level. That's true. And if you can meet S&P today, that is awesome, as you can hopefully improve from here. Absolutely. Definitely. And I do not mind the bragging. That is what it is. I wasn't bragging. But what gives this another pointer to what I have been trying to do? Trading at scale. I know hedge funds do it, but I'm not a hedge fund. I'm a regular Joe. I don't have your balance, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so curious. What are my drawdowns? My drawdowns are when I'm running the wheel on a massive account that if a stock is going, consistently down or it drops a lot, and then I write puts or cash secured puts, there is a risk that I get assigned shares and then that stock continues to drop. So just on SMCI alone this year at one point, I was down 700K. So if you add, say 300 to 400K onto this total, the percentage return gets juiced quite a bit. And actually, that wasn't, believe it or not, even on a wheel. That was just me buying shares on a hunch and losing. So, yes, there are some drawdowns. So, the biggest drawdown is probably bag holding positions I get stuck with. Hedging, I do keep on some hedges. So, like, for example, as the market was on a significant bull run for most of the year, I was buying actually buying SPY puts periodically throughout the year to hedge my position. Now, if you're talking about all this weighting and delta matching and everything that some of you guys get into, that was not it. I was just, taking a small percentage of my portfolio into SPY puts to kind of hedge all the long positions. Okay, biggest panic moments last year. This is easier said than done since I trade a lot and I get in and out of positions, in and out of situations, but at the end of the year, I do not remember it all as it gets lost in this. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the biggest panic moment of the year. The biggest panic moment is when I write naked puts and the stock drops and keeps dropping, right? So you have to have some guts, because if you're going to write puts at 100 and the stock now drops to 70 and you're down 30K, you have to be able to stomach that 30K loss to allow time to pass for that stock to recover, for you to be able to write calls and eventually sell the stock. So biggest panic moments when the stock drops and I have puts and they're deep in the money. Okay, how do I avoid getting over leveraged? Good one. So I avoid getting over leveraged by not tying up a super large amount of capital in any one position. So if you guys are trading, for example, a 100K account, you're not going to tie up 50K in one position and have half of your life savings riding on one position. So if you have a 100K account and you lose 1K, it's not the end of the world. So managing position sizing is how I avoid getting over leveraged. Next, Reddit and anything to do with stocks is toxic as fuck. Somebody will ask how to make 5% a year and get jumped on for being an idiot, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This person says, go ahead and let us know what the market will turn be in a year. No. Okay, yeah. So obviously, guys, I'm keeping you updated. I post all my trades live in my Discord, by the way. If you guys are not in it, I've been talking to literally hundreds of you. So hop in, the link's in the description, DM me small account challenge, and I can try to get you in for this week. So this person said, yeah, keep me up to date with the returns for next year, and they're proud of me. So appreciate, finally, a nice comment. Okay, so let's see what else people said. Can you describe your strategies? Yes. So as you guys know from my other videos, 0.30 to 0.2 delta, cash secured puts on high IV stocks, running the wheel, turning those into credit spreads, some debit spreads, some iron condors. If assigned, I write covered calls or flip out of the stock and move to the next. Okay, that's a simple one. All right, let's see what this one says. Man, everybody is so sour that you have more money than them and that you didn't beat the S&P 500, though you never claimed. From what I read, you wheeled 20 delta the whole year. Is that correct? How did you manage risk? How are your positions sized? What would you do if you got a put assigned to you and couldn't sell calls above entry price? Good question. What is your strategy for 2025? So some of these I've already addressed in other videos, but I'll briefly mention them here. So number one, yes, for the most part, I'm wheeling sub 30 delta puts and also sub 30 delta naked calls, meaning that most of the time I'm trading 70 plus probability strike prices. How did I manage risk? We just talked about that. Not overexposing myself too much to one position. How are your positions sized? No rhyme or reason, just kind of like based on my confidence level in the underlying stock that I'm trading on, and like I said, not over leveraging into any one position. What did you do if the put got assigned and you couldn't sell calls above entry price? So I'm terrible at this. I love to bag hold trades, and my percentage return on the year would be much higher if I didn't bag hold. So what I do versus what I recommend you do is different. I recommend, typically if you're assigned and it's taking a big drop, you can just cut your losses if you have a smaller account and you can't stomach, bag holding. But I will say some of my positions that I've bag held over time have actually came back and been some of the biggest winners. So it's a two-sided coin. What is your strategy for 2025? So what I'm hoping is that the market, feeling very top heavy recently, I'm hoping it starts to come down and I can start using the wheel strategy of selling puts to start averaging into long positions. So recently I've started this with things like AMD and Occidental Petroleum, Oxy, averaging in long-term positions that can reward me with greater returns, holding those stocks over time, writing covered calls, averaging in, getting a low cost basis, and then when the market comes back up later, riding that return wave up. It's like a very similar to what I did during COVID. Next, I don't know why everyone is bashing on this guy for claiming he could have just bought S&P and done better. He made $2 million on, and it's his money, LOL. He actively managed his portfolio instead of buying and holding. That's good on him. Good job. Thank you, Karam, Steve Jobs, for the nice comment. I appreciate that. Next, how much of your balance were you putting at risk for each day trading this? Okay, so I think what he means is for any one cash secured put I write, how much am I risking? So typically what I'm doing is I'm not ever really trading things that would get me more than like 200 to 300K in buying power that I would need to cover owning the shares. So for example, the most money that I'm putting up, if a put is assigned, is probably about 300K, which would be, a fractional percentage of the entirety of my portfolio, which, as I said, kind of like, 2-3% is where I'm at typically, and that's max. Do you use automation? No, but I have extremely well built out scanners that help me find trades that fit my criteria for the wheel strategy, credit spreads, condors, etc. Describe your worst loss of this past year. Like I said, at one point I was down 700K on SMCI. That has since been cut to less than half, so that's very good. Okay, let me move on to the next one. To be fair to the guy being me, hedge funds there are also hedge funds that underperform the S&P. I still think it's cool that he managed to do it while getting better at trading. Absolutely, guys. That's the goal. Guys, what would be the point of all these different strategies if everybody just put their money in the S&P and just sat there like a grump on a rocking chair saying, well, you can't outperform the market, so you may as well just put it in the S&P. Yes, everybody knows that if you want to make money over the long term, you just put the money in the S&P. It's fun trying to outperform. It's fun actively managing trading. I enjoy it, so I do it. So yes, people can hate all they want, but at the end of the day, you have to kind of find a strategy that suits you and decide what you want. Yes, if you just want steady gains over 30 years, just park your money in an index fund. That's fine. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was pretty entertaining for me all day. There were 275 comments, 200 of which were pretty negative. But if you guys do want to hop in my Discord, like I said, DM me small account challenge, the first 10 people. I'm going to try to get you guys in. Love talking to you guys one-on-one and hearing your progress with trading options. And anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.